It's been 3 weeks, shockingly, since we've done a recap lunch hour with me, Ryan McGuffey, on a Friday, which should be something that is a no-brainer, right? Setting the table for the weekend, getting off and running. But we've had stuff going on. We had a Will Venable interview 2 weeks ago at the ballpark. Last week, I was out of town going to watch these guys win their third straight Monon Bell game. So, welcome to the recap lunch hour with me, Ryan McGuffey. Plenty to get to this weekend. Landon coming hot already. Here we go. Look at this. Landon coming with a White Sox question right out of the gate. Had it ready for us right when we started. Landon, how you doing, my friend? Friend of the program for sure. Long time. After 4 years of pent-up frustration, what's the first question you would ask the front office at the Ramova Theater? The White Sox did announce today that Sox Fest is back. The last Sox Fest that we had was 2020. It was probably the most excited I had left a Sox Fest ever. The energy in that room was this way. It was right when the White Sox were ready to set the takeoff. There was so much brewing. That room was buzzing at McCormick Place. And then COVID happened. Like literally 5 weeks later, COVID shuts the world down. It's like Sox Fest 2020 kind of everything ended right there. COVID hit the White Sox, and the White Sox have never recovered ever since. Landon, it's a great question. I would probably, if I were a fan and had the opportunity, my question would probably be, why should I believe you? That would probably be my question. Why should I believe you after all of these years that things are going to be different now? When people have invested since 2016, mired in mediocrity, and bought into the first rebuild, why should things be different now? Because I don't know if there's a legit answer. Or how about this? I would like to see how the question would be answered. I would like to see how the question would be answered for sure. Speaking of which, I had this question here. Since we're starting with baseball, I was going to start with football, but let's go. Would it be a bigger deal if the White Sox trade Garrett Crochet or the Cubs trade Cody Bellinger? The obvious answer to me is, well, it seems like it would be Garrett Crochet, but I'm going to give you my answer in a second. Mud Shark, what's up? Blame the demise of the White Sox to COVID. Laughing my ass off. Hey, I'm not blaming the demise. The blame is right. That's top down. The blame is on the organization, not COVID. But I said, if you just joined us, when I left Sox Fest 2020, for those of you who were there, you know what I'm talking about. There was so much energy and so much buzz in that room at that Sox Fest for that team and for what was about to happen. No one knew, some people knew COVID was right around the corner, but COVID kind of just put a thud in everything, and the White Sox kind of rode that wave, and for whatever reason, and all of it really self-inflicted, they have not recovered. So no, I'm not blaming the demise of the White Sox on COVID. I think it's a bigger deal if the Cubs trade Cody Bellinger, personally. The White Sox have to trade Garrett Crochet. That's where I'm at. The White Sox have to trade Garrett Crochet, and they have to get it right. They have to trade him for some bats. They have to get a couple of studs. This doesn't add up. I keep using the ships in the night analogy here. 2 years of control, 2 years of going nowhere. I don't even see extending Garrett Crochet, like why that would be beneficial to your team. That to me is a must. Cody Bellinger's the big one. He opts in. The Cubs, there was a lot of belief that he would opt out. He opts in after a subpar year. He did play through 2 injuries. And now, and my buddy Bruce Levine, who tomorrow will be hosting Inside the Clubhouse on 670 The Score from 9 to 11, we'll be talking about this exact topic. He believes Cody's gone. He believes Cody Bellinger could get traded before Garrett Crochet at the winter meetings. I want Garrett, I personally, if the White Sox come home from Texas without trading Garrett Crochet, I get a little nervous. I know they probably want to see how some of the markets shake out for the Corbin Burns, the Blake Snells. But if the Cubs trade Bellinger, now Like I'm to the point where Bellinger's good. You got to support him with somebody else too. Not like you got Paris, but like you need to have another thumper to protect Cody, and vice versa. Whether that's somebody hitting 3 and Cody's hitting 4, Cody's hitting 3. This person TBA is hitting 4. I think the Cubs need to add more bats. They to subtract Cody Bellinger, it frees up salary flexibility. But how are you going to? Now you need 2 bats. The way I see it now, the Cubs need at least 1. They need a closer, they need a starting pitcher, and they need a bat. Like, by the way, like every other team in baseball needs those 3 things. I don't know. I think it's a bigger trade or bigger deal if the Cubs trade Cody Bellinger. What do you guys think? Because I don't think it's that big of a deal if the White Sox trade. I think it's a bigger deal if the White Sox don't trade Garrett Crochet. That's a much bigger deal than the scenario here I painted. Speaking of the Bears, Sunday, Soldier Field, noon, Vikings, 8-2. Now, the line's 3.5. Okay? We know the Vikings are damn good. The Vikings are really, really good football. I'll just say this. The Vikings are really well coached. You know, you can get to some of you can get to Sam Darnold for sure. But they're coached extremely well. Kevin O'Connell at the helm. They're coached extremely well on defense from Brian Flores. Their 2 losses are last-second field goal, like unbelievable game with the Lions, 31-29. And then a game on Thursday Night Football against the Rams where, for whatever reason, they didn't show up. Jess, what's up? Jess, what's up? Jess wants to chime in on, you guys want to go back to baseball for a second here? No problem. Let's go back to baseball. Jess, this is the question we're asking. Bigger deal if the White Sox trade Garrett Crochet or the Cubs trade Cody Bellinger. Jess says agrees. Cubs also need better pitchers to the bullpen. That killed us this year. More power hitters, more pitchers, Jed. Just to your point, the Cubs blew 26 saves, 13 of which I believe came in the 9th inning or later, so like 9th and 10th inning from the 3 closers that the Cubs had. Okay, 13. That's inexcusable. They need to get that shored up at the end. They have to. You know, I think, and it appears that the Cubs already, they went out and got Eli Morgan from the Guardians earlier this week. They made a trade for a catcher that was DFA'd from the Angels. They're out there surface level type trades, but they need to add more high leverage arms, no doubt. The bullpen, I think they need a starting pitcher. I think they need a stud. There's only about 5 of them. Stud closer and then another stud bat. Besides that, everything's fine. Ryan, I'm all for trading Bellinger, but the Cubs already needed to add a big bat, and taking away his production creates a need for 2. Yeah, Ryan, I don't know, maybe you popped on just a few minutes late. I said the same thing. I mean, how do you take away from what you need unless you have a bigger plan? That's like, we know the Cubs are not in the Juan Soto sweepstakes. So if you're telling me, yeah, they're trading Bellinger, but they're going hard for Juan Soto, then I'm like, oh, okay. I know Sasaki is, the Cubs are definitely linked to Sasaki, another big name Japanese pitcher. But what's that do for your lineup that was mediocre, I think, at best? Kurt, sell the Cubs. Ricketts, it's the only chance the fan had. Look at how far we've come. 15 years? Ricketts by the team. There's all this momentum. They hire Theo. They win the World Series. They rebuild Wrigley Field. And now it's like, all right, we've done what we need to do. Now let's manage the books. And now people are saying, sell. Be careful what you wish for here on that one, because the Cubs had bad ownership well before Tom Ricketts. So I'd say, while I'm not right now, ownership hasn't shown itself all that well on the north side. I'd pump the brakes a little bit on that one. I'd pump the brakes. Jess wants to know if I'm going to the Cubs convention along with Sox Fest. Jess, I will, you know what? I will make an attempt. I will certainly make an attempt to be at some of those socials on those first days. So if you guys are going, we'll certainly talk about this. This is like 2 months from now, but I appreciate the question. Definitely find me. Let's, we got to, we'll take a selfie or something. Got to get my people that are with me every day here. Kurt, It's the only way the Cubs start acting like the big market team they are. By selling, I don't agree. But by acting like the big market team, I totally agree. If you go out and spend money on the guys to make your damn team better, stop telling me you need to be a 90-win team every year if you're putting on a roster that shells out 83. So I don't disagree there. I just disagree with, I don't think you have to sell the team to do that. Hype. Fans make no sense. First, they cry about if Cody won't be re-signed. Now they want him traded. Then fans crying about not having power, yet you want to move your power guy. Yeah, okay. That hype. Pretty well said, my man. Like, pretty well said. Guy played with 2 injuries last year. He wasn't himself in 2023. That's my point. Like, you trade him. If you're trading him to save only for financial reasons, well, then I got like 5 more questions after that, at least. Ira likes a low-scoring game on Sunday. Go with the under. I love the low. I had the under last night in the snowball. That didn't work out. Ira will get to the Bears in a minute. Ryan, today's the day. Non-tender day. Nick Madrigal is about to be a former Chicago baseball icon. Take that. You are correct, Ryan. I don't see any scenario. Could you imagine if the White Sox, I picked them up, though? I mean, they need guys, but that can't happen. Hope to see you, Jess. Hope to see you before those 2 things. So if you're going to be out and about, maybe you could come to a Hooters event. We got a couple left. We got next Tuesday. Tuesday will be in Orland Park. Yeah, let me get that up there for you guys. Tuesday, Orland Park. So, yeah, if you guys can make it out there, if some of you are near there, come on out. We'll be there early through the show. Always good to see, fans of the program. So, Jess, for sure. Would love to see you. Landon, we need a recap of Sox Fest for sure. That's coming. Landon, that's a great call. I believe I'm taking over the recaps on the White Sox this year. You guys know that the podcast is out there with me and BA, and anybody else will get, but that's a great call, Landon. I want a recap of that first front office Q&A if they get one. Kurt, what percentage would you place on the Ricketts being on the panel for questions? I mean, they haven't done one of these in a long time. So I'll say 10. I mean, I think that people should ask questions. You get an opportunity, to be in front of your fans. Fans can be pissed. But if you address those fans, a lot of times you put out some fires. You can at least ease the pain. To quote Field of Dreams, James Earl Jones, rest in peace. Joshua, my prediction for the Bears game on Sunday, 24-20. I got the Lions 24-20. So it's not going to work with Ira's under. The total in the game, I believe, is at 40. And let me make sure. Let me confirm that. So, Ira, I'm going to have to go against you, pal. I actually like a little bit of scoring in this football game, but you're going to sweat it out like you do everything else with the Bears. There's no gimmies. 3.5, and I want the NFL, please. 3.5, 39. The total is now 39. Yeah, I like the over. So I'm going 24-20 Vikings, unfortunately. Pablo, what's up, Guff? Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the content. You're welcome. Best Chicago baseball trades of all time. Konerko from the Reds for Mike Cameron. Great trade for both teams. Ryan Sandberg from the Phillies. Oh, I have to start, bench, and cut. I love it. I love start, bench, cut. It's just become synonymous with the lunch hour. So I'm starting Konerko from the Reds. You're benching Ryan Sandberg from the Phillies and cutting Freddie Garcia. Woo! Appreciate it, Pablo. Love you, man. That is a damn good list, and it's really hard to put a cut on there, right? I mean, but you have a guy with a statue. You have a Hall of Famer with a statue, and you cut Freddie Garcia. I think that's fair. Pablo, I think you nailed that one. You certainly could say Ryan Sandberg, Hall of Famer. My mom called me Rhino when I was a kid. I loved it. You could make an argument. You could flip him. Start Rhino, bench. Konerko, what's up, Jumbo? Landon, Chris Getz will have to answer questions about decisions made by people who either won't be there, Jerry, or are no longer there with the organization, Rick and Kenny. But that's part of the job, man. It's the big boy job. You get the big boy questions, the big boy pants. Howard, not happy about the location. Hey, baby steps, dude. It's been 5 years. The excuses of not having Sox Fest, in my opinion, were invalid. So start somewhere, okay? At least it's back in some capacity. It is different, but it's back. John, Bigger challenge for the Bears D this Sunday, stopping JJ or Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones loves those Chicago Bears. Matter of fact, when I'm going to sit here and look up Aaron Jones because this dude can play football, and he has crushed the Bears. But the Bears are doing pretty good. I think stopping Justin Jefferson. I do. I'm going to say stopping Justin Jefferson. I'm looking up Aaron Jones' career against the Bears. First of all, listen to this. Aaron Jones, and we shouldn't be shocked because he played for the Packers, and we know they have an 11-game winning streak against the Bears. Aaron Jones is 12-1 all time against the Bears. He's run for 712 yards, which, other than the Vikings, who he now plays for, that's the most he's run against any team. 7 touchdowns, the most he's had against any team. 4.8 yards a carry. Also adds 285 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns, both the most against any team. He loves playing the Bears. To your point, John, great question. I'll say JJ because the Bears usually get stopped to run even with injuries on the inside. Let's see what happens. Chris, why don't the Sox or Bears put a stadium at 183rd in Harlem? It has 285 acres, I-80, 57, the Metro all right there. Across the 80 is World Music Theater. Oh, I appreciate the World Music Theater reference too. For those of us who grew up when it was just the World and not renamed 17 times. I still call it the World myself. Chris, you're trying to make too much sense, man. I mean, that's as simple as that. You know, some people will be like, well, it's not in the city. It doesn't matter. You know, I like what the Atlanta Braves did. The Braves actually did a questionnaire with like the residents of the local of Atlanta and the surrounding suburbs. And the Braves built north because that's where fans wanted it. It'd be nice if someone ever cared about the fans in this city. David, let's go to Sox Fest. Hey, let's go, man. Maybe we'll do I'm just spitballing here. Maybe we'll do some kind of recap outing, or maybe we'll do like a live recap show, or I'll do a live podcast from the Sox Fest. These are all great ideas. Let's keep them in the hopper. How Sox Fest is 4 hours for 2 nights, nothing during the day, $53 admission and $35 for kids. And then I think there's a VIP as well. Howard, you're right. It's like $250. But hey, man, like I said, 5 years of nothing. At least it's back in some capacity. Let's start there. Let's criticize after if it's, you know, if we don't like it. You the man too, bud. Jed Hoyer hits home runs with trades and free agency this offseason as he is playing for a contract decision. Irish, this is your prediction. He kind of has to, right? It's put up or shut up time for Jed Hoyer and the Cubs. They got to stop threading the needle. They do. They got to stop trying to figure out, like, are you building from within and spending to, like, you can't do both. Young, what's up? Good to have you back. Who would be my coach of the Bears next year? I would go with somebody with personality and charisma, which is usually the anti of what is picked. So I'm more on the cap team here with head coach. You know, I think Brian Flores will get a look. That'll be interesting. Is that too big of a personality? I mean, come on, give me personality. You know, Mike Vrabel's roaming the sidelines in Cleveland as like a coaching assistant because Kevin Stefanski asked him to come on board. Keep an eye on that. If Kevin Stefanski gets let go in Cleveland, I'm all in on that. That dude has done more with less for an organization that is not very good, not very well run, a la the Bears. But this guy's had quarterback problems. He's won Coach of the Year twice, taken that team to the playoffs 2 times. I'm keeping my eye on Kevin Stefanski. I like Mike Vrabel a lot, though. So they told a great story about Vrabel on the broadcast last night about how he's coaching a kindergarten team. Saying, get your ass over there. Jimbo, Darnold will throw 2 picks, but we lose the game on a game-winning field goal. I mean, it could easily happen. Appreciate you, John. I got you, man. That was a good question about Aaron or JJ. Reggie's, you want us to bring back the Reggie's? Hey, Chuck and I did some Reggie's events back in the day. What a great spot. I mean, one of Chicago's best spots on the south side of the city. And that is not out of the question. Landon, recap beer money next season with our guy, Gabe, beer money MVP. Hey, Landon, stay tuned for that. Not beer money, but we got some stuff brewing, pal. Okay. I'm looking out for you. Ryan, you live 15 minutes from the. Here we go. How about this? Ryan checking in from Atlanta lives 15 minutes from the Braves Stadium. It's a year-round destination with all the additional businesses, concerts, etc. around the ballpark. Sox would be smart to do like. Ryan, today's a lot of compliments from this group today, but man, oh man, spoke right into it. Ryan checking in from Atlanta. We appreciate that. But hey, this is good info. That's why you serve it. That's why you pick the fans' brains. Fans are more willing to spend their taxpayer money if you're actually getting input from them saying, hey, rather than build it 30 miles from me, I'd rather you build it here. We don't care if it's in downtown Atlanta. More of us are actually right here. Build this, we will come. Also, by the way, have a damn good baseball team too. That helps. Josh, with Brisker and Hicks likely out, again, would it be worth moving one of Tyreek, Stevenson, or Terrell Smith to safety? Well, we know Kevin Byard's been just playing lights out at that position. I think yes. Josh, at this, I think everything's in play, man. It's 4-6, 4-game losing streak. You would think your head coach is playing for his job, is playing a little bit desperate. I mean, God, if it's not now, you want me to get Cap on FaceTime? I think he's lifted. But you know what? Just for you guys, I'll try. Because that's what we do on the lunch hour. We do stuff out of the ordinary. All right? So I'm going to try to call Cap on FaceTime because I'm a man of the people. Pablo wants to have a recap show at Chicago staple location like Reggie's. Got to have a start bench cut tournament. Pablo, the people are asking, Cap. Look at this. There he is. We are live on the recap lunch hour, and they're like, I wonder if you could get Cap on FaceTime. Well, 100% you could get me on FaceTime. Look at what we do on this damn show. There's no rules. There aren't. Well, that was from your guy, Young Sue, which is, we know, big fans of Nancy on this show.
Yes, Young Sue was a great student of Nancy's, my old girlfriend back in the day.
Well, I'm going to leave it at that, Cap. I'm going to mute you and, hey, say goodbye to your fans because.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
The recap lunch hour. There goes Cap. So we did it, Young. Cap's on FaceTime. David, why the Sox seem to do everything wrong. By the way, I'm enjoying the Sox recap podcast. Tell your friends, man. I think a lot of people don't know we've started one up that I've moved over here. So I appreciate you, David. I love it. Jess, unlike the owners of the Cubs and Sox, a true man of the people. Jess she's got a key to my heart, man. The Nancy story. Oh, Katie wants the Nancy story told. I don't know if it's safe. It's a not safe for work story, Katie. We got to be careful. It's the lunch hour. People are watching this stuff from all over the place. We got to be careful here. It's definitely not a PG show, though. It's more NC-17. Swayze's laughing. Jess wants Cap to drive safe. You never know with him. Have we seen a trick play from the Bears this year? Yeah, most of them have failed because they've been called at the wrong time, Nashwave. Howard. Elon should buy the Sox, build at the 78 with his pocket change. Unfortunately, MLB would not allow somebody with that wealth. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're not going to go somebody that's – now you're talking about an owner, about the owner having personality. I'm still surprised Steve Cohen got it. Yeah, I do have this on my topic here briefly before we run. Daniel Jones released by the Giants. My good friend, my buddy Joe Shane, the GM of the Giants, definitely taking some heat. Look, they're 2-8. I get it. I'm a big fan of Joe. I was hoping he'd get the Bears job because I go back with him from my college days and when we played together. So they were in a really tough spot with Daniel Jones when they had to re-sign him. He had a good year. They won a playoff game. They re-signed him. It was basically a 2-year deal. This is year 2. It hasn't gone well. They cut him loose, and it's part of the job. You should be part of the Jay Hood and Cap show in the mornings on AM 1000. Young, you got to talk to the people over there, man. You got to talk to the people over there. Let's mix that thing up. I'm in. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, Katie, I know. Katie, our great behind the scenes. Sometimes she pops on camera. Not that she said he's told the story 10,000 times. Yeah, he sure has. Do you think the Sixers are tanking for Cooper Flagg? Interesting thought. I mean, it is. They've been terrible. To your point about that, the 76ers are currently 2-12. They've lost 5 in a row. I mean, tell me you're not tanking by tell me. I mean, that's 2-12. The thing with the NBA is you could turn it around pretty quick when you're a team that has MVP type candidates, but you're also could just say, screw it. We've seen great teams. Remember those great Spurs teams of the past tanked, ended up getting Tim Duncan, and they had Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Tim Duncan goes on to win, 4 or 5 titles. So, yes, Sean, I will be on Inside the Clubhouse tomorrow. I know November's been a very weird, like on, off, on. I am on tomorrow. I should be on going forward for the foreseeable future, certainly into the holidays. So, appreciate that. 9 to 11 tomorrow. Hey, the real Phil Simms, my guy. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Phil. When will the Bulls finally blow this up? This team is a joke. Yeah, acknowledging who you are is more than half the battle, Phil. And it's been a problem for this team. Now they have a lot of bad money tied up in it, and it's tough to move bad money. I think Vucevic is playing himself into an all-star conversation, and with that, his deal is not nearly as massive. You could probably make that work. I think teams would be willing to move on somebody like that. The question is, how do you get Zach? I don't know. Swayze, you and Cap should do a TV show like Cap and Haw back in the day. What do you think, Guff? Swayze, look at that. We got a creative group today. A lot of ideas. They want recaps from Sox Fest, recaps from Cup Convention. They want me live at Reggie's. We have Jay. You want me on the Hood and Cap show in the mornings. We had Cap on FaceTime. Now we're doing a TV show. Hey, the best part of YouTube is this is on TV right now. If you just want to throw it up and put it on your TV. Swayze, I'm onto that, man. I like it. We got a lot of great feedback here. My goodness. And then Ryan coming hot with the Atlanta thing. I love that. All right, we're going to wrap things up here. Just want to know predictions. I'm going 24-20 Vikings. I want to say Bears, but until we know otherwise, I have to ride what I've seen. I want Caleb to stack. I want Caleb to be as good as he was last week, if not better. Pablo, you want the Guff Network. I'm going to, scream it into the skies and the heavens, Pablo. Let's face it, man. I love it. Jimbo, opening day recap at Jimbo's. How about that for correlation, huh? Could happen. I believe it's Cork and Carry now, but for those of us who raise the glass or 7 at Jimbo's, I got you. Swayze's going my score, flipping the teams. Going Bears 24, Vikings 20. Could absolutely see that happening. I could absolutely see it happening. Phil, just like Cap, you're definitely that dude. Man, I appreciate you guys. I got to make sure we are here, Katie, on Fridays, because there's a lot of compliments. People are feeling good headed into the weekend. I feel like much better about myself after I do the lunch hour on Fridays. Pablo, 34-31. Jeez. Hey, Ira, look out. Pablo's way over. Another heartbreaker, but Caleb looks awesome and closer to firing Flus. Guys, no scenario. He's I guess if the Bears were to finish 6-1, maybe Flus comes back. But I just come on. We all know that. We all know. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Let's head into the weekend. Raise a glass or 3 to 26-13 Nashville. I'll get that in there. I saw 26-13 Bears. I'm like, what? DJ, Roshan, Rome are your Eddie. We should do you know what? Should we do a anytime parlay? Let's look at right now. Before I go, an anytime touchdown parlay. DJ, Roshan, and Rome. Here we go. We should do a lunch hour parlay here. Anytime touchdown. DJ, Roshan, and Rome. 47-1. Nash Wave. 47-1, dude. DJ, Roshan, Rome. 47-1. I think if I don't play that now, I would be kicking myself. So I've spent $10 on worse stuff. Jess, you too, my dear. All right, everybody. Hey, have a great weekend. Let's get a flipping dub. Let's just, at least for one day, Put the BS aside. Let's get a win for the Bears. I would love to see it. I'd love to be here on Monday, not as frustrated, talking about something good for once that happened on the lakefront. Appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. It's the last weekend before Thanksgiving. I'm having a tough time wrapping my head around that, but we'll have a lot of Thanksgiving fun next week. The Bears play on Thanksgiving, so we're going to have a short memory. Even if they win on Monday, ride that puppy into Thanksgiving. We'll have a lot of Thanksgiving content. We'll talk about turkey next week here in the lunch hour and a lot of other stuff. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the love, and we'll see you on Monday, hopefully after a Bears win. This has been the Recap Lunch Hour. I'm Ryan McGuffey.